I still remember the night my world quietly broke. Not with screams, not with anger, but with a single message that wasn't meant for me. It was 11:43 p.m. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, waiting for my husband, Ian, to come home. Dinner had gone cold. Again. I picked up his phone, not because I didn't trust him, but because I missed him. And then it appeared. A message lit up the screen. I miss you already. Tonight wasn't enough. My heart didn't race. It didn't shatter instantly. It paused, like my entire body was waiting for my mind to catch up. I stared at the name. Sana. Not a colleague, not a relative, a name I had never heard before. I told myself, there must be an explanation. There had to be. Because Ian wasn't just my husband. He was my safe place, my home, my everything. We had been married for 5 years. 5 years of shared dreams, late night talks, building a life from nothing. I trusted him more than I trusted myself. But what I didn't know that night was that trust can sometimes be the most dangerous illusion. The door opened. Ian walked in, smiling like nothing had changed. "Hey, you're still awake?" he asked casually. I looked at him, really looked at him, searching for guilt, for hesitation, for something. But there was nothing. Just the same man I had loved. Or maybe the man I thought I knew. I held up his phone. "Who is Sana?" I asked. There was a pause, a small one, but long enough to break something inside me. "Oh, just a client," he said. Too quickly, too smoothly, too perfectly rehearsed. And in that moment, I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I smiled, because something inside me whispered, this isn't the truth. And that night, while he slept peacefully beside me, I stayed awake, not crying, not screaming, but thinking, because deep down, I knew this wasn't the beginning of a problem. This was the moment everything changed. The next few days felt unreal. I watched him, not like a jealous wife, but like someone slowly waking up from a dream. Every smile felt rehearsed, every excuse too convenient. Late meetings, phone always on silent, sudden work trips. And me? I played along, because I needed the truth, not his version of it. One evening, I decided to follow him. I told myself I wouldn't, but my feet moved before my heart could stop them. He said he had a meeting, but instead, I saw him walk into a restaurant, and he wasn't alone. She was already there. Sana. She looked beautiful, confident, comfortable, like she belonged in his world, like I didn't. I stood there, watching from a distance, and then I saw something I wish I could unsee. He reached across the table and held her hand, not casually, not politely, but the way he used to hold mine. And in that moment, something inside me didn't break. It changed. The pain didn't disappear, but it transformed into clarity. I didn't confront him that night. I didn't create a scene, because I realized something important. He wasn't hiding the truth. He was replacing me in it. And I refused to be the woman who begged to stay. So instead, I started planning, quietly, carefully. I gathered everything, messages, photos, call logs. Every lie he told, I saved. Every excuse, documented. I even learned something shocking. Sana wasn't just someone. She knew about me, and she didn't care. That hurt more than anything. Not just betrayal, but disrespect. I wasn't invisible. I was ignored. Weeks passed, and during those weeks, I changed. I stopped asking questions, stopped waiting, stopped hoping. I started focusing on myself. I went back to work, reconnected with old friends, rebuilt the parts of me I had lost in loving him. And slowly, the woman who once waited at the door disappeared. Until one day, Ion noticed. "You've been distant," he said. I smiled. "Have I?" He looked confused, concerned, maybe even afraid, because for the first time, I wasn't reacting. I wasn't emotional. I wasn't his predictable version of me. And that's when I knew it was time. Not for revenge driven by anger, but for truth, delivered with calm. Because sometimes, the most powerful response is silence, followed by exposure. I didn't plan a dramatic confrontation. No shouting, no tears, no chaos. Because I wanted him to feel something deeper than guilt. I wanted him to feel reality. I invited him to dinner, at home, just like old times. He looked relieved. Maybe he thought everything was back to normal. Maybe he thought I had forgiven him. Dinner was quiet, almost peaceful, until I placed an envelope on the table. "What's this?" he asked. "Just something I think you should see," I replied calmly. He opened it, and everything changed. Photos, screenshots, messages, proof. Not just of betrayal, but of lies. His hand started shaking. "Aisha, I can explain." I stopped him. "No," I said softly. "For once, just listen." I looked at him, not with anger, but with clarity. "I saw you," I continued. "I know everything." Silence filled the room. Not heavy, not painful, just final. "I trusted you," I said, "and you didn't just break that trust, you replaced it." He tried to speak again, but this time, there was nothing left to say, because the truth was louder than any excuse. "I'm leaving," I said simply. His eyes widened. "Leaving? Aisha, please." "I already left," I interrupted, just not physically. That line, it stayed with him. I could see it, because for the first time, he understood. This wasn't a moment of anger. This was a decision, a calm, irreversible decision. And Sana, she didn't stay either, because once everything was exposed, she realized something too. If he could betray me, he could betray her. And just like that, he lost everything. Not because I destroyed him, but because his choices did. Months later, I sat in my new apartment, peaceful, quiet, but not empty, because I had something I didn't have before, myself. I wasn't broken anymore. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't questioning my worth. I had learned something powerful. Betrayal doesn't destroy you. It reveals who was never meant to stay. And sometimes, the best revenge is not proving them wrong. It's showing them they lost someone who would have never betrayed them. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been betrayed by those closest to you, know that you are stronger than the pain. Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And remember, keep blooming. If you like my story, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it.